Hi everyone! So I have the first Swatch My Stash video in a very long time to show you guys. I asked in a couple of videos ago, I just started reposting videos, I asked a couple of videos ago where you guys wanted me to start with Swatch My Stash. The majority of you guys said continue with indies and then start over by color, so that's what I'm going to do. I am not going to finish Rescue Beauty Lounge just because you cannot actually purchase Rescue Beauty Lounge anymore, and the majority of those polishes I am going to keep for myself as memory pieces because that was the first brand that I really did work with extensively, and I was a video producer for them and a video reviewer for them, and they hold a very special place in my heart, just personally speaking as well. So I am going to keep pretty much all of those, and I'm not going to swatch them because I'm not going to destash any of them, and you can't actually purchase them anymore. So what I'm going to do is restart Swatch My Stash, starting with indies, and I am going to start with Lynderella. These are the first 10 Lynderella polishes that I have to show you guys today. Lynderella is probably the oldest indie brand, as well as one of the most famous when indie brands really started taking off. Indie brands, the indie nail polish world really started with chunky glitters, and Lynderella was definitely the most innovative and the originator, and in my opinion, one of the most creative chunky glitter creators that we had. And so yeah, I decided to start with Lynderella because that's kind of where everyone's jumping off point was in terms of coveting indies. Lynderella was definitely the first brand who was incredibly coveted and was impossible to get. That's why I'm starting with Lynderella, because I feel like that's kind of where we all started coveting nail polishes in terms of indie polishes. I'm going to do into Lynderella, and then I have, you know, all my other brands as well. I usually start each new brand with an overview of how many polishes I have, but I have not actually organized the rest of my Lynderellas into one spot yet, so I don't have that for you, but these are the first 10, so let's get started with swatching. So the first color that I have for you guys is called Love, Lace, and Lilacs, and this is I think it's a white, like, frosty base with a bunch of pearly glitter running through it. It's got different shapes of glitter, including bar glitter and hex glitter. And yeah, the base is just a little bit pearly, so you can wear it on its own. It is pretty on its own when you layer it up, but if you layer it over something else, it does show off that pearliness to it. That is what the first coat looks like. Again, pretty sparse, as a lot of the Lynderella polishes are going to be. A lot of them were kind of meant to be toppers, but it can be worn on its own as well. So that's what the first coat looks like on its own. I am going to wait for these two fingers to dry before I put anything on top of them, and then I will show you what it looks like when these two have the color on top. By the way, the base coat that I am using today is called Incognito in Sausalito by OPI. It's a very dark blue. I wanted something dark so you guys could see what it looks like over a dark base. And yeah, that's the first one that I grabbed. So this is one coat of Love, Lace, and Lilacs over Incognito and Sausalito. That pearl comes out just a little bit better over a dark base. And then I'm going to do the second coat over my index and middle fingers as well. Again, it's easy to layer up. The pearliness comes out a little bit more. That chunky glitter doesn't catch over other chunky glitters that are already on the nail. And the thing that I love most about Lynderella nail polishes is whatever base that she uses is the best, especially for carrying this chunky glitter. It doesn't get super thick, so it doesn't get really annoying to layer up. I usually, if I were to wear Lynderella on its own, I would do 2 to 3 coats. So I'll do a third coat of this so you guys can see what full coverage looks like. If I were to use Lynderella over a polish, it would just be the one coat. So I'm going to leave it the one coat on there. And then I'm going to go in now with the third coat of Love, Lace, and Lilacs over my index and middle fingers. And again, you guys can see that it does get fairly thick, but you do get a pretty good amount of opacity on the nails. Like, it's a pretty dense coverage, and it's, again, a thin base, so it's really easy to layer up. Lynderella has probably the best formula for chunky glitters, and was like originally one of the best brands for chunky glitters because of its formula, and it was such a big deal. And so there's a reason why it was such a big coveted brand for so long. So yeah, this is what Love Lace and Lilacs looks like. Here is what it looks like up close. This one I think I am going to destash. I haven't used this literally since I bought it. It's very, very pretty though. Definitely does look really lacy on the nail, but it's just not one that I'm going to use, so it's going to get destashed. The next color that I'm going to use is called In the Snowcake from Lynderella again, and this is a clear base. It has a little bit of pearl in it too, actually, but it has a iridescent slight flake, slight shimmer running through it, as well as that same pearly white chunky glitter as the last one. This one is another one that I don't use very often, but you know, I had it. It was pretty. For a while there, I did use it once in a while, but not one that I've touched since basically right around when I bought it. Again, same base color for my darker nails over here. You can see that pearl come out a little bit better, that iridescent pearl. So yeah, very pretty polish. And that is what the first coat looks like. I'm gonna go in now with the second coat, and this adds a little bit more glitter to it, a little bit more shimmer. It doesn't ever really get fully opaque. This one has a little bit more of a sparse glitter pickup than the first one does. So this is what it looks like in two coats. A little bit more glitter, a little bit more shimmer, like I said before. I'm going to go in now with the third coat, and this is again going to be the final coat. I'm just going to do 3 coats of these polishes. This adds a little bit more glitter, a little bit more shimmer. This one definitely stays on the sheer side on your nails if you are going to pick it up. I actually don't know how much Lynderella is available. I know the last time I bought polishes from her, I basically did like one big haul, and they were available on eBay because she had a specific site on eBay. Before that, the big drama was that it was really hard to get Lynderella because she was exclusively doing pre-sales through Laro. It was this really complicated, you have to write out your list, you have to send it in. It was like this weird wait list. She was kind of the originator of the chunky glitter and how they became really, really popular. I remember Temptalia had a bunch that she swatched on her blog, and she rarely swatches nail polishes, but the fact that she swatched Lynderella was like a big deal. And so it was really hard to get a hold of her polishes, and her polishes were the reason I feel like other indie brands popped up and started duping her nail polishes and making their own polishes because it was so hard to get a hold of hers. And I personally think that her formula does stand out between a lot of other chunky glitters even now. I don't know what she used as her base, but it's amazing. And it was, you know, it was a big deal for a while there, and it really it rubbed people the wrong way because the way that they handle it on Laro, which was not great, was, you know, it was just a lot of drama. And so she moved on to be independent on her own on eBay, and that's where you can buy her nail polishes that I heard of last. But Laro, you know, also rubbed people the wrong way because of all the shit that she had to deal with in terms of organizing these wait lists and sending them out. And it was just, it was a crazy thing. So yeah, Lynderella was like the #1 indie brand for a very long time, as well as like the #1 most duped indie brand for a very long time. In my opinion, it really did spark this need and boom and want for indie polishes, and like this is when indie polishes became a legitimate thing in like the nail polish world. So yeah, that is 3 coats of Ice the Snowcake. So here's what Ice the Snowcake looks like up close. Again, I am going to destash this because I just haven't used it very often since I bought it. It is very pretty. I do really like that shimmer that's running through it, but it's just not something that I'm gonna use ever very often anymore, I don't think. So yeah, that is Ice the Snowcake. The next polish that I have to show you guys is called Connect the Dots, and this is, I think, one of her most famous as well as most duped as well as most coveted nail polish. I remember this is one of her original polishes, and it was the one I think most people really wanted to buy. This was the very first black and white glitter polish. This has, you know what, there is just the tiniest bit of shimmer in the base of this polish, but it's essentially clear. And there is a bunch of matte black and matte white hex and square and bar glitter in it, so that it literally looks like a connect the dots, you know? It's the perfect name. I did switch my base coat, by the way. This is Sally Hansen's Pacific Blue because I wanted something a little bit brighter so you guys could see the contrast of what this looks like as one coat over a base color, and it's just fantastic. It's so pretty. Again, I think this is the one that most, you know, was most duped when it first came out and when other indie brands started coming up with their own polishes, and it's just, it's a very unique polish, and I do credit Lynderella for her creativity in creating a lot of the polishes that she had and that were most famously duped, because they are very cool. So that is what the first coat looks like. I'm gonna go in now with the second coat of Connect the Dots, and this layers up actually really cool. With that second coat, you get quite a bit of glitter pickup so that it looks almost just fully like paint splattery opaque. I remember Say Anything Brooke, like this came out when Say Anything Brooke was still making nail polish videos, right? And she was even like, this is insta nail art, like you don't even have to do anything. You put one coat over any color and it just looks very cool. So that is what 2 coats of Connect the Dots looks like. So I'm just gonna leave this as 2 coats of Connect the Dots on my nails because that's actually what I would probably, or most, so I'm just going to leave this as 2 coats on my nails because that is what I use this polish with. I only ever do 2 coats of this polish. When I wear it on its own, I do really love this polish, so this one I am going to keep. This is still one that I use quite often. And I've had this for so long and it still hasn't dried out. So yeah, I absolutely love this polish and I am going to keep Connect the Dots. The next color that I have to show you guys is called Evermore. This is another one that was kind of in the original lineup of polishes that she had, I believe. This is a darker polish, a darker base with a bunch of really tiny blue, sorry, I'm going to shake this up really quick, blue and red and orange and purple and silver micro glitter. It's got like a slight sheer gray base and there's a bunch of black glitter running through it as well, like black squares and black bar glitter. Obviously it is meant to reflect sort of a raven and oh, there's a heart in there, and Edgar Allan Poe type of imagery with the name Evermore, although I believe that's supposed to be Nevermore in the poem. But anyway, I think that's what the whole concept of that was. In one coat, it is very sheer, looks not very gray or anything. Over a colored base, you just get that speckling of that black glitter, so it doesn't look particularly amazing over a colored base, but on its own, it does build up a little bit. So I'll show you guys what it looks like in 2 coats after this one dries. I'm gonna go in now with the second coat of Evermore on my index and middle fingers. This one does build up the color just a little bit. You can't really tell on camera, but my nail in person does look a little bit more gray. And then the glitter pickup again is there, so you get to see the other shapes of glitter in this polish. I didn't know that there was circle glitter in this either, so that was pretty cool. I'm gonna go in now with the third coat of Evermore, and again, I'm only ever gonna do probably up to 3 coats of these polishes because they are chunky glitters and you know, it takes a lot to get it fully opaque. But yeah, that is what the third coat of Evermore looks like. Lots more glitter came out on it. My nails did get a little bit more gray, so yeah. So here's what Evermore looks like up close. This one I am going to destash. I do really love the way it looks in the bottle, and so much of me wants to keep it because it is just kind of a nostalgic polish, but I would never use it, so I am going to pass this on to a friend. The next polish is called The Stars in Their Eyes, and this is a really pretty hollow glitter polish. It is a sort of silvery sheer base with a ton of different shapes of hollow glitter in it, mostly stars. This is one that I saw, I think, just on the Lynderella eBay site, and I thought I absolutely have to have it because I've never seen like so many different hollow glitters packed into one polish, but that also included stars. Like there was something very just childhood feeling about it, and it makes me just really happy to look at it. I do really like the color combo of this sort of silvery gray base with the hollow glitter running through it. It's super unique, again, super, super pretty, and just reminds me of like being in 4th grade and having like star glitter nail polish, you know? So that is what the first coat looks like. I'm going to go in with the second coat of the Stars in Their Eyes. This is another polish that I only ever used 2 coats of when I wore it on its own, which was once in a while. And you can see it's because there is quite a bit of like dense glitter pickup in this one that you do get a pretty full coverage on your nail. The gray sort of silvery base comes out really nicely in that second base as well, or sorry, second coat as well. You can also see that there is a little bit of like a sheer gray glitter running through it, so that helps with the nail coverage in general. So yeah, I am going to just do the 2 coats of this polish and I'll show you guys what it looks like up close. So this is what the Stars in Their Eyes looked like. Oh, Stars in Her Eyes looked like up close. This one I am going to keep. I love the hollow glitter running through this. I love the stars as well. So this one I am going to not only keep but try and wear more because I haven't worn this one in a long time. The next color that I have to show you is called Season's Greetings, and this is a silvery clear base with a bunch of sort of holiday themed colors in it. There's that bright red, there is a bright blue, and then a lot of silvery hollow. There's a little bit of green in there, and the base on this one has turned just the slightest hint of like a green. I think because of some of the glitter has leached color into the base, so it's in my like black and silver and white area, but it's, you know, it looks a little bit green, but that's why. So in the first coat, it is very sheer in terms of just glitter pickup and density, I guess, as with a lot of these polishes. Over a colored base, it does show off a little bit more because you get the contrast of the glitter on the base, but it definitely needs to be built up if you wear it alone. So I'm gonna let this dry and I'll show you the second coat in a second. I'm gonna go in with the second coat of Season's, oh sorry, I call it Season's Greetings. It is called Season's Glitterings. And you can see that it builds up the glitter a little bit better. You can see the different textures and the different types of glitter in there, as well as the different colors. So yeah, that is what the second coat of Season's Glitterings looks like. I'm going to go in now with the third coat of Season's Glitterings, and this gets quite a bit of glitter on there. You guys can see all of the red that just came up with that application, as well as the bigger, chunkier glitters that were mixed in. So yeah, that is what 3 coats of Season's Glittering looks like. This polish I am going to pass along. I don't wear this one very often, and I do have some other rainbow chunky glitters that I do use a lot, so there is not a reason really for me to keep all of them. So this one I'm going to de-stash. So I'm actually going to swatch 2 polishes at a time for this one because they are very, very similar. This one is called New Year's Eve, and this one is called One Nutty Fruitcake. You guys can see in the bottles that they look very similar. This one has not as much silver glitter and is mostly square glitter based, and this one has more silver glitter. It's a little bit more confetti and rainbow like. The reason that I'm swatching both of them together is to compare them and to hopefully de-stash at least one, if not both. So I am going to do New Year's Eve on my index finger and my ring finger, and I'm going to do one Nutty Fruitcake on my middle finger and my pinky finger so you guys can see the difference. Again, I'm going to start with New Year's Eve, and it is a mix of just different colors and sizes and shapes of confetti type of glitter. This one is another one that it was very, very popular when it was released. I believe it was meant to be like New Year's Eve confetti, sort of like, you know, Times Square New Year's Eve type of feel, and it is very, very cool. This isn't particularly all of that unique anymore because a lot of brands make a rainbow glitter, but it is very cool still, just the different variations in color and size. I'm going to go in now with One Nutty Fruitcake on my middle finger, which again is a little bit more square glitter base, there is a little bit more of a micro glitter in the sheer base as well, to just have a different look on the nail. Yeah, I don't have very many glitter polishes that are primarily square glitter or that mix in a lot of black glitter as well. So they do end up looking pretty different on the nail, but I do want to at least get rid of one, if not both. So I'm going to go in now with the second coat of both New Year's Eve and One Nutty Fruitcake. This one is going to be the second coat of New Year's Eve on my index finger. And you can see that it just builds up the glitter a little bit more. You get a little bit more coverage. Same with One Nutty Fruitcake here on my middle finger. I do like that this one has that micro glitter in it as well, so when you wear it on its own, there's a little bit more interest on the nail in terms of coverage of what's there. Instead of just being chunky glitter, there's that micro glitter running through it as well. The One Nutty Fruitcake base color has that slight gray sort of black sheer color in it as well, so it's just a different look on the nail. I'm gonna go in now with the third coat of New Year's Eve, which is on my index finger right there. I know a lot of people say that you're supposed to sponge on your glitter, but I honestly never do that. And yeah, mostly it's because I'm too lazy to do it. But yeah, that is what 3 coats of both of the polishes look like on my nails. So here is what One Nutty Fruitcake and New Year's Eve looks like up close. I think I'm gonna keep One Nutty Fruitcake for now, just because I like the square glitter and the micro glitter running through it, which means I am gonna get rid of New Year's Eve and pass that one along. So that is what these look like up close. So that was the last of my like sort of top coaty type of colors. This is the first non-top coat color. She does make a lot of polishes that have a colored base running through them already. You kind of saw that with some of those black gray based colors. This one is called Chocolotta Love. This is a brown base with a bunch of brown glitter running through it, and it is the first of my sort of regular colored Lynderellas. So yeah, this one is kind of a rare polish for me because I don't own a lot of brown glitters. I bought it because it was incredibly unique. I had never seen, or really since then have seen, a lot of brown glitters, to be honest. They don't really exist, or maybe they do and I just, you know, haven't paid attention. But yeah, this is that sheer base again, that sort of browny black base. It has a ton of black matte micro glitter, which adds to that sort of dark base. And it has a brown hex glitter running through it with a little bit of rainbow glitter in various sizes and pieces running through it as well, just to add a little bit of color. But yeah, very, very unique polish. For sure the only one in my collection that is like this. Like again, I don't have any other brown glitters. So yeah, that's what the first coat looks like. I'm going to go in now with the second coat of Chocolotta Love. This adds quite a bit of color to it. Well, I guess not really color, but density to it. You can see that the glitter pickup is pretty good. You get quite a bit of glitter on there. And then, yeah, it's one that I definitely wear on its own for the most part. I don't really wear this over a color just because I like the brown glitter look. This is one that I do wear basically with 2 coats, so I'm not going to do a third coat because this is just how I wear it. So yeah, that is 2 coats of Chocolotta Love. So here's what Chocolotta Love looks like up close. This one I am going to destash. As unique as it is, it's not one that I wear very often, so this one is going to get passed on. The last polish that I have to show you guys today is called Undead Red. This is another sort of OG, I guess, Lynderella polishes. I feel like this was one of the first ones that came out and people were really talking about. This is a red jelly base with a bunch of red glitter running through it. Red and pink sort of magenta glitter. This is on the thicker side because I've had it a while and I've used it a couple of times. It has thickened up just slightly, so it is just that tad bit more difficult to use. Very pretty nonetheless though. I think one of the things that stands out most with Lynderella is just the various textures of glitter, or shapes I guess, of glitter that she uses, that really adds coverage as well as adds interest on the nail. So yeah, this is what the first coat of Undead Red looks like on the nail. I'm going to go in with the second coat of Undead Red, and like Chocolotta Love, I'm just going to do the 2 coats because this is what I always did with this polish. You can see that it adds quite a bit of depth of color. You get that redness to come out a little bit more. It looks very candy-like, and the glitter layers up really well as well. So that is 2 coats of Undead Red. So here is what Undead Red looks like. This one I am also going to pass on. I do really like it, but again, I haven't worn it in a really long time, and I do have some other red glitters especially that I pull for more. So this one I am going to destash. So of the 10 Lynderella nail polishes that I started with, these are the 3 that I'm going to keep for this round. If you guys like this video, if you could give it a thumbs up, that would totally make my day. If you are new to my channel, welcome. I am back into swatching nail polishes for you guys. So yeah, subscribe to see some more Swatch My Stash videos. I will be finishing the rest of Lynderella, and then I will be doing the rest of my indie polishes, and then I'll actually be restarting from the beginning and swatching by color and sorting by color so you guys can see what I have left and how I'm going to organize. So yeah, I hope you guys are doing well, and I will see you guys soon.